Alexa, stop. Sorry about that. Anybody got any recognition? Control Freak Week?
I can start. I think that's Amanda that just joined. Amanda is regaining Emerald tomorrow.
Very exciting. Awesome, girl. Any other recognition?
I'll go. So I just want to shout out Jess Adams for not letting everything that life throws in her way stop her from keeping her routine and staying consistent. And she doesn't realize this, but she motivates and inspires me more than she thinks she does. And I'm her coach, so that says something. We all need our challengers and our coaches under us just as much as they need us. So keep up the great work, girl.
So true. She's been doing a Christmas video TikTok every morning, and it is so entertaining, and it sparks joy to me every day. I'm like, oh, I gotta get up. She's already singing.
She's already singing and dancing. It's my turn.
Okay, wait. I also want to shout out Danielle for creating so much hype in the hub. And I just feel like ever since we moved to the hub, I've been like so excited, and new spark is there. So thanks for keeping us all connected and excited.
Thanks, girl. I kept messaging them and was like, sorry, not sorry for all these posts. So like someone else can post or not, but like I'm gonna post. So
they're great. I love them.
Anyone else?
Hey, so I'm probably gonna have to get off, just I'm usually not on these because I'm at work. But because Moeana's talking tonight and I didn't get to formally recognize her last week, she signed up as a discount member in October. Didn't coach. She did my coach info session early November, said, yes, I'm gonna do this. Literally bought our first like team jacket that we made the other week, like that weekend. Went all in, and so she got Emerald and Success Starter month 1, technically in her second month, like as a coach account, but she is doing amazing. She already has a bunch of people lined up for this month. I have no doubt that she's going to be an incredible coach and asset to this team, and I'm super excited for her to get this experience to talk tonight, and hopefully I can stay on while I'm here and just listen. But you are amazing, and I'm so happy to have you on the team.
Thank you.
Yay. Any other recognition from anybody else that popped on? We're just going through. All right. Well, I wanted to shout out a few people. First off, I see Melissa popped on, and guys, I can't even tell you the past 3 to 6 months postpartum. I don't remember how many months she is, but she's been one of the most consistent challengers. Not just her workouts, but her shakes every single freaking day in the bod group. And she's had a lot of stuff with her new baby, and she still shows up for this team. So she's like my great grand coach, something like that. But that's what I love about our team is like we're all connected in different ways. And I'm just so proud of you for being here because it would be easy for you not to be. And Noelle is pushing hard for Emerald. She's super pumped to use Control Freak as like a launching pad for kind of reshifting her business. So she's been hyping. And then Jill has been getting back in and doing meditations really consistently. So highly recommend if we're going into the holiday season and you guys haven't tried it yet. I've been doing meditations after work each day and they are really good. So not something that's usually in my wheelhouse, but just wanted to remind you guys that that's there. And then a few other announcements real quick before we dive into our coach panel tonight. I'm so excited that you guys are here. On the hub for the next 2 weeks, you guys will see a daily challenge go up. And so that's just a great way for you to be like, what do I do for these next 2 weeks for Control Freak? There's going to be a challenge for you to do something each day. So it's like sharing a workout move or talking about the nutrition program or just like keeping it super simple for you to continue the hype. Because what tends to happen is we have a launch and then we do nothing, especially with the holidays going on. And so I listened to a podcast this week and it was from Ed Milet called Separation Season. And it's so true. It's not about doing like a lot of things right now. It's just about staying consistent so that you're continuously using this launch and being that person people go to. So just wanted to remind you about that. Also, we have the free group going on. So in the Hub Sneak Peek Party group, again, the link for that is on the team calendar pinned to the top of the hub. There's a free group going up to the customer launch. So there'll be a post in there every day. There'll be a workout starting Monday each day. And there's a meal plan in there. So that's a great place for you guys if you have people that are skeptical or they're not sure yet, or they've said no in the past. Reinvite them to that group, get them plugged into that, and then having your conversation behind the scenes. So again, that's something we as the leaders of this team have set up for you guys. The content is there. It's just your responsibility to hype it up and bring people to the table and have that conversation behind the scenes with them. So just another tool in your toolbox I wanted to make sure you guys knew about. Did I miss anything else, Allie or Morgan or anybody else? Oh, one last thing. What was that?
I was just gonna say the Secret Santa.
That's exactly what we are on the same page. Secret Santa is coming up the 23rd of December. So if you signed up for it, the names were drawn on Monday, the 8th, or maybe that was yesterday, whatever. If you didn't get the email about it, just let me know and I can resend you the link. But there's like 25 of us doing it. So I'm super pumped about that. Okay, so coach panel tonight. I am going to Q&A them. So if, we lost Moeana. I'm sure she'll hop back on. Maybe you can text her, Amanda. But unfortunately, Violetta couldn't be on tonight. She had to have emergency surgery. So send love to her. But Jess and Moeana are on tonight. And I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an intro. So Jess, again, is not my PS coach, but she is just somebody that is so real and honest when she's struggling, but she uses it in a way that connects with people in just like a very honest, authentic way. So she has been around Beachbody for a long time. She's been on previous teams. She really connected with her coach, Jess, because they've been best friends outside of coaching, and found this community. And it was just like, she's just been one of those bright lights that even when it feels really like a struggle mentally, she connects and jumps on board with every new program. She's a team player. Obviously, Violetta couldn't be here tonight, and I texted her like less than an hour ago, and she's like, yeah, I'll do it. It's outside my comfort zone, but like, why not? And that's the kind of thing I love on our team. And then Amanda, I don't know if you want to intro Moeana, or I'm happy to as well. I know you're at work, so.
Yeah, I can do it real quick.
Go for it.
I think she's coming back.
Yeah, she's
Okay. Yeah, so I actually met Moeana because I made a TikTok a couple months ago. It had to be like September or October, like a transition one, and I showed my like giant water bottle in it, and a bunch of people asked me like, where'd you get that? And then she and I actually ended up having just like a side conversation after that, and she was like, wait, I really want to do this. How do I get started? So then we started how to do clean week. She took a little bit longer than the 7 days to do clean week, but I was still like, you got this, keep going. It'll be your first win. It's a quick win. And then after that, she decided to do size advanced. She loved it. And she actually did the Sean T event this past weekend, had a blast with it. And I honestly, I'm so pumped because she's in that window that I think if she gets Success Starter, she should probably be in the test group for his new program, which would be like a full circle amazing thing for her. But she crushed that program, showed up for my like info sesh, and then was like, I'm going to do it. She went from that to MBF, just finished MBF last week. She's kind of taken recovery this week and is going to start her first round ever of any kind of cleanse, but doing 3-day refresh tomorrow through the rest of the week. And she's literally just giving this her all. She's talking about it even before she was a coach. She's only been coaching for like 3 weeks now. She was showing up her workouts on TikTok, on Instagram, and I was like, whoa, you gotta do this. And so now, and we've talked about bigger goals when it comes to money, and she has a very intense job, and her job schedule changes all the time too, but she's making it work. She's showing up, and she has so many coworkers already coming to her about it because they're seeing her do it. And so I'm just super, super excited to have even met her, let alone have her, be part of our team and get this opportunity to share more and grow. And just, it's awesome. It's just been really fun knowing her for just the last like month.
Yay. I love coach intros. All right, guys. So let's kick this off. So one of the first questions I wanted you guys to speak on, and obviously we'll try to keep this like 20 minutes so the team calls 30 minutes and get y'all off for the night, is just share a little bit. Maybe Jess, you can go first. How did you get into coaching and what was your biggest concern before starting?
So everything, to be completely honest. You might not even know this about me. I'm literally like the shyest person on the planet. So sharing things scared the ever loving crap out of me. Posting scared the ever loving crap out of me. What would people say? What would happen? My biggest thing was like, how do I get out of my own head? So, how I started coaching honestly was on the down low. I slyly became a discount coach and literally didn't tell anybody. And then I was just sharing and like kind of like dabbling into everything. And all of a sudden I get this like Facebook message from Danielle and she's like, seriously, why are you not coaching? And I was like, actually, I am a discount coach. I just never really thought of myself as a coach. I thought like, oh, I have to be perfect in my journey to be a coach. But I'm realizing that every coach has their own story and that's how you connect with people. So that's kind of like that keeps me going. My struggles are going to help people. So I got into it for the discount because I love the products, I love the workouts, but why I'm still coaching really and what really got me started is just, I don't know, it pushed me out of my comfort zone and that's what I needed. I need to challenge myself and this team challenges me also. So it's just really the perfect balance of, hey, get out of your head, just go do this. You're fine. Don't worry about other people. Like just go help people. And in turn you help yourself. So
Love it. And I'll just like note on that if you guys have teams like building within your team, took me a while to do it. So don't get discouraged, but like don't be afraid to reach out to people you might not know in your downline because Jess and I didn't know each other and like just believe in them because you never know they could be the next person that blows up and it helps a lot of people. So that's something that I kind of struggled with for a while that I'm like, I don't know, they didn't sign up with me, but like, should I reach out to them? And now I'm just like, I don't care. If they're posting a lot and they're showing up, go empower them because you never know. All right, Moana, how'd you get into coaching, which Amanda kind of told us a little bit about, and what was your biggest concern before starting?
So yeah, I got into it for the discount because it made sense that the 15% off or the 25% off was going to cover the shakes and stuff alone. So I went ahead and did that with no intention to ever coach. I never saw myself being where I am right now. I had this picture in my mind of being a coach. You had to be in perfect health, having this perfect fitness story. And so when I started, I just started posting it because when I saw Amanda posting her stuff, it just encouraged me and made me so happy. So I wanted to do that so that other people could see it. It made me feel good. So I knew that it was going to make other people feel good. So I just started doing that on my own. And then Amanda was like, by the way, I think if you were ever interested in it, you'd be an amazing coach. So it kind of put the bug in my ear, and I was like, that would never, that would probably never happen because I'm not living a perfect life and like that picture that you have in your head. And then she was like, that's the biggest misconception of what being a coach is, because that's not what it's about at all. It's about showing up and encouraging other people and showing them your journey, because I'm at the very beginning of my journey. I just started. And so the people that are watching me and the clients that sign up under me are watching me from the very beginning. They can see everything that I go through. So I finally went to her info session and was like, well, I probably will say yes, but probably not, not right now. I don't know yet. And then it took a couple of days, like literally a couple of days, because I was like, I'm just afraid of failing. And so we had a couple of conversations and she was like, but is there really a failing as being a coach? As long as you're doing what you need to do and showing up and being encouraging and sharing your journey, you can't fail. So after a couple of days of thinking about it, that's when I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to jump in, both feet in, and just do it. And so now what's keeping me coaching is now I have a couple people, a couple of friends, a couple of coworkers that have signed up under me. And when they did their first workout and texted me, I felt amazing because I was able to help them when they felt helpless, which is where I was just at like a month ago. And that is incredible to me. That feeling of helping them was incredible. So knowing that I can do that with other people is what's keeping me going right now.
Love that. Also, if you guys have like specific questions along the way that you want to know more about from them, just throw it in the chat. I'm just going to totally like Q&A them, put them on the spot, and I might even change it a little bit from what I sent to you because Moana, because I think it's just like going with the flow. So talk a little bit about what is a hack that you have done for your business? So let's start with Moana because I like to rotate between the two of you guys to give you the question. So like Moana, you came in and you've hit the ground running as a new coach, right? Like you've hit Emerald, you've hit Success Club. What made that happen? Because I think there's often two types of coaches starting out, the ones that take a long time to get to that place and they really struggle with the mental shift of like, I can't do this, it's been so long, why isn't this working, I'm doing the things. And then there's usually someone that hits it like really fast and you have to figure out how to sustain that. So you have a really crazy schedule, you work nights, I think mostly, Amanda said. What is like a hack for your business that has been working really well for you?
I really listen to Amanda when she says just to fit it in the pockets of time. So I have a lot of pockets. So I do have kind of a crazy schedule with work, but I also have some downtime in between calls. So I'll be sitting at the office waiting for a call to come out. And in that time, I'll be on Instagram or I'll be reading my personal development book that I'm reading right now, or just anything. I listen to podcasts on my way to work. So I just try to fit it all in different pockets because I don't really have a time where I can just sit down and do it all at one time. So
yeah, so proof that being busy isn't an excuse and like overloading your brain with positivity in the small pockets that you do have is like everything. I remember doing that myself when I started. I love hearing that. So Jess, let's ask you this in a little bit different way because you've been around for a little bit longer and you've had ups and downs and seen the team go up and down. So what keeps you here and pushing and wanting to share this?
Honestly, it's myself and my consistency, and it's showing people that it is possible because I think so often people think, like me, you think like when you start something, you go in like all in 100%. Like that day I said, hey, by the way, I am coaching. And like it was like getting the ball rolling. And I was just like, I felt like I was on fire. And then all of a sudden it was like, and then life happened. And I was like, okay, now what? Like, how do I fix this? How do I get out of my own head? And the one thing that I realized, I said, let me take a step back from coaching. And I realized that that was the one thread that I had that like literally kept me going. So as soon as I like let that slip, my nutrition slipped, my workout slipped, everything slipped. I realized that coaching was the only thing that was keeping me consistent because I made a promise to them that I was going to show up, which in turn betters me. And it didn't always feel that way. The one thing that I do still struggle with is my mindset and the whole personal development. Reading is not one of my favorite things to do ever. So I started to do more podcasts, and I'm going to look into more like audiobooks instead of sitting down and reading because for some reason I just like when I open a book, there's like, it reminds me too much of grad school. It reminds me too much of like my job as a teacher. And I'm like, I don't want to spend my free time doing this. But I like to listen to music. So I'm like, hey, if I like to listen to music, why don't I just listen to the podcast or why don't I just listen to the audiobook and help myself that way? So really what keeps me here and what keeps me sharing and what keeps me going is just the momentum that this group has. And like every single new coach that comes in, like Moana, you included, literally light a fire under my ass every single time. I'm like, well, what the hell? Like if they're doing it, like my life isn't 3/4 as crazy as their life is. Like, why the hell am I not doing it? I'm making excuses for myself. So like it's the accountability that this team gives you without telling you that they're lighting a fire under your ass. But then it's just the consistency that it gives me in my own journey and realizing how I can share so that people can make those connections with me. Like, I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to be a robot. People are going to connect with that.
Yeah, Jess actually said to me the other day, because if you're on my team, or you guys might have heard me say this before, they're not allowed to say try, because to me, try is like that wishy-washy in between. It's like, no, you're either going to work out or you're not going to work out, right? Like you're not going to try to work out. That doesn't make sense to me. So Jess actually messaged me the other day and she's like, my kindergarten class isn't allowed to say try. And to me, that was such like a moment, because she's taken the things that she's learned in coaching and personal development, actually applied them to her career, and is impacting other kids and their mindsets. Like how cool is that, you know?
And they'll catch themselves, like they slip up and they're like, I said it. And I'm like, it's okay. We're just not going to say it again.
Kristen said, how does that play in with the podcast? What do you mean by that, Kristen? Maybe you just unmute and ask your question.
So like I'm a teacher too. And I love that, like I was just having a conversation with my kids that have to take their state test tomorrow. And they're like, I can't do reading. And I'm like, stop it. Like that doesn't work. Like you can't go in like that. But anyway, I'm like a note taker, but I'm also terrible with my follow through. So like I'll read a book, a professional development book, but like I don't do shit with it. Like I'll read it, but like, okay, I read it. I'm terrible with follow through. So I kind of like the idea of the podcast because we're asynchronous like all afternoon. So a lot of times I'm just in my classroom like grading papers and like whatever. So but like my thing is like I'm worried about if it'll distract me from what I'm doing or if like I won't be able to write. So I'm just curious as to how that works since you have a teacher brain. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk.
No. So I tend to do it when I'm grading or when I'm doing my lesson plans, just like you. That's when I tend to do it, like my lunch break, everything like that. And what I usually do, like I will have the podcast playing on my phone, and then I'll have like a Microsoft Word document or like a notepad up on my computer so that way I'm just typing things as I hear them. And it's kind of just this running document. And like when I go to do posts, I'll actually cycle back through my notes and see if there was something that like spoke to me that really ties into how I'm feeling. You know, I texted Danielle the other day and I was like, I just reread my notes from like a Trent Shelton podcast. And I was like, this quote, and I was like, damn, I needed to hear that again. And it was just from my notes. So I just listen to them in my free time, but I don't ever find that it's distracting. And if it starts to be, if my mind starts to go more towards the podcast than it does on my actual like work that I'm supposed to be doing or my grading, then I just pause it and I go back to it later, because that's the beauty of a podcast. You can, just like with a book. But I just love them so much more because I can hear the passion and the excitement and everything inside of their voices in a podcast. Whereas a book, I'm kind of like making up my own. And it's just, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I started a professional 3 different ones over the last like month, and I have not finished one of them because I don't do shit with it, to be honest. Like I don't. If that makes sense.
No, I think that's great, Jess. And that's a good mic drop for thinking about your posts. Jess took the words out of my mouth, because she does really use the things that she learns and uses them for her posts. But also remember what she said. I love hearing the podcast and the passion. That's a good reminder for us that like speaking on your stories, if you're struggling with Success Club, you need to check yourself and ask yourself, am I sharing that passion and that energy and that realness of who I am on my stories by speaking, or voice messages, or those sorts of things that might seem scary? But is someone going to come through your screen and like be like, why'd you do that? You know, so just a little reminder. All right, Moana. Okay, I really want to ask this question and then I'll check the chat again, because some new coaches come in and say, I'm so overwhelmed. There's so many things going on. I don't know where to begin. What was the thing that you were just like, that worked for you to make those goals happen? Like, how do you not get into the nitty gritty, wanting to know everything before you hit the goal kind of thing? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I just kind of, when I got overwhelmed, I asked for help. So when I would go into the classroom and start looking through everything, if there was a moment that I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. This is way too much information. I don't know what to do with it. I would text Amanda and ask her a question so she could lead me in the correct direction. And like, at the very beginning, I was under the understanding that the majority of my first clients were going to come from social media. And for me at least, I was dead wrong. The people that came first were the people that I know, my coworkers, my friends, which they're not even my close friends. They're friends I knew from high school. They're just people that have been watching me. And like Amanda always says, people are watching and you don't know that they're watching. And those are the people that came first. So I was overwhelming myself with social media because I was going all in and I was sharing my story, and I thought that I needed to do more and more and more, when in reality, those people were coming from connections that I had already made.
Love that. I think it's so true. So to elaborate that on a little bit, like, you're sharing on social media, but what was the work behind the scenes that you were doing? You were making an effort to reach out to people, right?
Yeah. So I would reach out, follow people on Instagram. I would reach out to them, like their things, comment on their things, just try to be a friend. And that's something that I learned a lot about by watching the Coach Jace like training video. I just watched it the other night and it completely changed my mindset on how I do things on Instagram. But just being a friend, that's the first thing that you have to do. When people see you being a friend, that makes them want to connect with you. So that's what I try to do. I like their things, I comment on them, I try to follow them. And then when it's right, or when they reach out to you, that's when you're like, hey, I have this amazing thing for you. Are you going to be interested in it? And then just going from there.
Love that. Professional friend makers. It's such a mindset. And then, like, the invites don't seem so like, ooh, when do I say this? Or what do I say? Or what are they going to think? It's like, no, you already have the relationship. Hey, you want to do this with me? I think you'd be awesome. All right, let's wrap it up. And if you guys have any other questions, you want to put it in the comments. I wanted to get y'all's perspective on how you're approaching Control Freak, with, obviously you guys both have committed to it, but what are you thinking about doing? How could you give the team some suggestions on what they could do leading up to the launch? I know, Jess, you've done other test groups in the past and you kind of know what's worked for you, but Moana is a new coach too. Like, what are you thinking about? What are you doing right now before customer launch? What would you tell the team to be doing? Whoever wants to go first. Moana, go for it.
So I am super excited about it. I was super nervous about 9-week Control Freak at first, but I decided once again just to go in full force. I'm nervous about it because I'm nervous it's going to be too hard for me. But I've changed my mind. I'm ready for it. I'm going to do what it takes. I'm going to, it's not going to be too hard for me. But anyway, but that's my mindset. That's why I think that this is working for me, because I am I feel like I'm in complete control and I'm ready to go forward. And so I encourage people to have that positive mindset. I in the past was always a very negative person. I was a pessimist. I was a glass half empty kind of person. And that's not the person that I want to be. So I'm working on becoming this is going to be great. I'm not afraid of it. I'm going in for it. And with 9-week Control Freak, it's an incredible opportunity. It's going to be an incredible program. So I did the sample workout today, and I'm not even going to lie, it kicked my ass. But I'm excited and I'm going to do it again. and I want people to be excited about it. So I'm just going to share how excited about it that I am so that other people can see it. And just sharing all these resources. We have unlimited resources with this program. You all have done incredible things. I know, we have everyone making these things for Instagram. We have them on the classroom. We have all of these resources we can be using to promote 9-week Control Freak and just spread the word as much as we can before the customer launch comes, so that as many people know about it as possible. And just sharing the sample workout even so that people can try it and say, oh my gosh, this was amazing. I felt great afterwards. I want to do it.
And like to piggyback off of that, I think that, how you said, you feel like you're in control. I think right now for me, I'm completely feeling the opposite. So I'm using this as a way to share what I'm struggling with, but like how I'm going to gain control of my nutrition, of my workouts, and just what that looks like for me so that people don't see me as this, robot who, oh, she works out, oh, she eats healthy, oh, she doesn't have wine, she doesn't have pizza, she doesn't do this. And just really sharing how, I'm a real human being who struggles too, but I can gain control over this. Because to be honest, the program scares the crap out of me. But I remember feeling that way when I watched I didn't even do the sample workout for Morning Meltdown because I was like, hell no, there is no way I'm going to be able to do that. And I finished the program. I've done hybrids of the program, and I got my best results from that because I said, no, you can do that. Like, so, just to show people, don't put limitations on yourself. Just share that if you can do it, they can. And who cares if you have to modify the modifier? You're still doing the damn thing. Like, who cares? Like, I have knee issues, I have back issues, but I'm not going to use that as an excuse to not be healthy. Like, no way. So I'm going to show them that, hey, you can't do lunges. All right, this is what you can do instead. And just make it work for you and for everybody else. Show them it's possible. Make them believe it's possible. I mean, our coaches did it for us, so we can do it too.
Is it just me, or does Jess need to go do a little rant on Instagram stories after this with that same talk, right? Mic
Yeah,
drop.
because that scares the shit out of me too.
That's why I'm making you do it. So it sounds like that's your challenge. Okay, so yeah, I would definitely recommend everybody doing the sample workout. If you haven't done that yet, it's really hard to hype a program that you haven't tried yourself. So definitely recommend empower yourselves, guys, over the next 2 weeks. Like Moeana said, there's so many resources. It's up to you to use them. Get on the champions page, listen to Autumn's national wake up call from this week. Do it on the times where you're driving, you're walking, you're taking a shower, you're working out, all those time. Like, we have the time, right? Like, I know it seems like a lot of extra things right now, but that's the separation season between somebody who just does the program themselves or somebody who takes 5 people with them. And like, imagine if everybody on this call had 5 people doing Control Freak with you. Damn right, you'd be finishing it all together from day 1 to week 9. All right, one last thing. Catherine asked, do you guys have a favorite podcast recommendation that you'd like to share with the group? And then we'll wrap it up.
I love Keisha Fitzgerald. She lights a fire under my booty every single time. But Trent Shelton is just like real talk all the damn time. And it's like you could listen to any one of his podcast episodes and you can make a connection with it almost instantaneously. He's just awesome, and he's real. And so those I would say are like my top 2, but I do dabble into like the Brennan Show and just a couple other ones that are shared in like the Message Pod. I do dabble into those, but Trent Shelton and Keisha are like my favorite.
Go for it, Moeana.
Oh yeah, so the Empower Her podcast right now is my favorite. I've been listening to that one quite a bit, so that's my recommendation. Yeah,
I can share you guys a screenshot of my ridiculous podcast option, because I too dabble in a lot, and that probably is why my team has a lot of different ones they like. So happy to share that in the Message Pod. Any other questions? This was
Danielle, I was going to say it was really cool when you did that podcast thing in the BOG groups and there was a different podcast every day, because that's how I kind of dabbled in them and really started actually listening to podcasts. That's what got me started. So that might be helpful too, if we come up with a list of like our favorites and kind of put them together for everybody else, share them out.
Love that. I can definitely work on doing that.
I
Anything
was gonna
else?
say real quick, if you guys really vibe with the Empower Her podcast, I also super suggest Michael Folsom's Do Your Crap. Kind of like same vibe as Keisha, also awesome Beachbody coach, and she just like lays it to you. That's a really good one.
Awesome. Maybe you guys can throw that in the chat after the call just to remind people. Well, thanks for making a stacked team call. If you guys didn't take a picture that you were here and put it on your stories and tag all your friends, because you guys know it's so much more fun sharing that we're all showing up together. I'm super proud of you guys for doing it. Does anybody need to smile? We can do that. Just let me know. Okay.
Yeah, please smile.
Awesome, guys. Well, thanks for being here. Keep up the great work with Control Freak. Super proud of y'all. And let's go knock this month out of the park. Get our goals in before Christmas. Finish it strong. And I can't wait to hear how payday and rank advancement day goes tomorrow, because I think it's going to be a big week. All right, guys, I'll see you on Zoom in the morning. Have a great week.